Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Italian Nekuzuki Live. Today, we will be working on big bags that didn't get finished for Ancient Arts Yarns pop-up in July. I'm all set up. I've got 3 more bags to actually do the seams on, and then we'll be cutting the box corners and hopefully boxing the bags as well. I have until about 4-ish before I have to go pick up kiddos from childcare. So we'll see how much I will get done. Obviously, I said that I was not going to be on until about 2 p.m., at least via Instagram. But I figured I may as well pop on and get working as soon as I can. There's no point in waiting on 20 minutes. I may as well work. So I'm not listening to anything for audiobook right now. I just finished re-listening to The Ghost Bride by Yangsze Choo again. And then, I don't know. I'm just in between right now. I started The Isle of the Gods by Amy Kaufman, which is a book I really want to read. But I feel like it might need to be read. I don't know. I was trying to listen to it last night, and maybe I wasn't in the headspace or something. This week, at least, it started better than last week. So last week, my husband went up to shift, and the cat got into a diabetic medication. Well, I guess this was 2 weeks ago now. And yeah, so that was fun. But at least we didn't start this week out that way, which was good. Now, the pop-up at Ancient Arts Yarns went amazing. Thank you so much to everyone who joined us. We really appreciate the support. I think it went off well enough that there will be an annual event, at least for the next few years. So that's exciting. And unfortunate news is that my childcare didn't work out for my Market Spot pop-up at Market Mall on July 29th. And they have actually canceled the rest of the pop-ups for now, pending some news. So I guess I'll get some more details to you guys once I have it. So they are still open, however, for purchases over the next few weeks, and I will be making a drop-off because apparently I am low on stock at Market Mall. So once I get these big bags done, I'll get them prepped and ready to go to market as well. So we just were up in Dawson Creek this past weekend. My father-in-law, one of his best friends, his wife passed away, not unexpectedly, but passed away, and then a bunch of other crap went down as well. That was this spring. They were supposed to go up in May, but if you haven't heard, we had humongous forest fires in Alberta, right across the path that would take you to Dawson Creek. So they decided, for safety's sake and like all the fire crews' safety as well, to not go up. And seeing the damage on the drive up there, that was actually very much the best decision that they could have made. So, but so they moved it to July instead, and then I actually got a chance to go because they were supposed to go while I was in Japan. And yeah, so this actually worked out better because I've never been to Dawson Creek. That's the farthest north I've ever been in Alberta or BC. And then I found out I went and visited Faking Sanity, which is the yarn and bookstore up there. They also podcast. So hi, ladies. If you're watching this later on, I'll try and tag them maybe below. But really nice little yarn shop. Like one of the best ones I've been in recently, especially for the size of the town. Is really cute. And I got information on the Peace Fiber Fest, which is happening it's the last weekend in April, which actually lines up better for scheduling. So I think we may be going up to do that. If I get accepted, we'll be going to Dawson again in April for that show. Because why not? May as well head out and venture into unknown territories. It fits our schedule a lot better than Edmonton does. So yeah, and honestly, in some ways, it has a lot of overlap with Edmonton because Dawson Creek and Edmonton aren't that far apart. So I have a feeling that it would be a good customer base as well. Again, farthest north I've ever been, right? So may as well. All right, I've cleared the bin out. We've got 2 more to sew around the edges on. I do have my coffee here because it is coffee time. My whole day's been like completely discombobulated. I just had some pelvic floor physio for after the babies, which I was supposed to do it last year. Oh, this one wasn't pinned. What happened here that you didn't get? Oh, your interfacing needs to be clicked. Okay. Anyway, got in for some pelvic floor physio. Got some appointments booked for more physio because I've got some plantar fasciitis in one of my foots. One of my feet. Foots. Jesus. And so I would like to get that assessed and get on a program that means that hopefully when I get up in the middle of the night to get kids, my foot doesn't hurt. It would be nice. I think it was a bad combo in the last year because it started in about November, just after Japan. And I think the big thing that happened is my shoes had just addedly given up the ghost and I didn't replace them soon enough. So that's my fault, obviously. And like my feet didn't stretch during pregnancy, but they definitely stretched during postpartum. I think that might have been another contributing factor as my arch has fallen a little bit. Obviously, ligaments and tendons and all of that are very different beasts when you're pregnant with the hormones. So, I don't know. But I am going to blame it on postpartum stuff that happened last year. So I think between bad shoes, extra weight, and just maybe not as like correctly set tendons as were before, I ended up with plantar fasciitis. It has improved. I gotten some orthotics, which has helped. But it's like, I'm fine when I'm walking, but it's that first step out of bed in the morning. It's absolutely agonizing. And since I have to do it twice, so i.e. get up and get the kids, and then again in the morning when I actually get up, I need to figure it out. And running a marathon, half and marathon, is not going to help it. It's always like, it's fine during the run, but it's always so stiff afterwards. And I think it's a lot of, I can't tell if it's tight or like too weak of calf. I've always had issues with that side calf. So it's my left foot. And the first time I ran a 10K, my left side was the weaker side. It like just didn't want to activate properly or something. So I think maybe that is also contributing into it. But anyway, we go see a physio on Wednesday. I finally convinced my husband to go in for some physio for his knee because it's been hurting him for about 5 years. We figured out it's not damaged, which is good and excellent news. Not just good news, excellent news. But it's like one of the tendons, the patella tendon, I guess. And so they're going to get him on a program. Thank goodness for like coverage from his company. It's the only way we even can consider doing this. But yeah, anyway, so I'm going to see the same guy that he saw for his knee because he said he was really good. And all the other physios there. I'm not going to do pelvic floor physio with a dude. But I will do foot physio. That's fine. The one that I saw today is going to be going on mat leave. And the other one that I would normally see that really helped me with my ankle is out for medical leave right now. So it's like, okay, get a couple pelvic floor sessions in when I can transfer back to my old doctor. And then see this other guy for my foot. Because honestly, probably balancing out my foot as well is going to help like the whole pelvic floor issues too. There's pins on the floor now. That's why I have semi shoes in here. Not like semi truck shoes. I've got like little wool clog slippers to wear, but they've got a leather sole so that my feet are a little bit better protected. I completely missed a layer on the interior, so I'm going to pick these up just so there's not so many laying around. Then we'll go back through on the bottom to just finish it up. I signed up for Staples Canada emails today because they're like, sign up and you'll get $10 off your next 2 orders of $100 or more. And then I decided I don't actually need it. But they've already emailed me like 4 times. And I only signed up about 2 hours ago. So I have a feeling there'll be an unsubscribe happening here pretty soon. All right. I think that's all the pins down there. And we finally have some clear weather, I swear. It's the clearest that it's been for like months right now. I've got a training run tonight, so I was supposed to go this morning, but that was part of why I didn't. So my day's been discombobulated because my eldest, they've had a cough for a while. about 2.5 to 3 weeks, but like no other concerning signs. So I was kind of like, okay, it'll be okay. But then last night it got bad. Like just very disruptive to their sleep, my sleep, the youngest sleep. And it hit the point where I was like, okay, we got to go see the doctor quick. I know our doctor does walk-ins. We actually lucked out. The doctor had a cancellation this morning, so normally the walk-ins don't start till 9:30, but we're able to get in at like 8:45 or something like that, which is awesome because the eldest has summer camp today, and I didn't want them missing too much of that. So they didn't. It was awesome. They were like 5 minutes late. Whoop-de-doo. Anyway, but the good news is that it's allergies. Not a big deal. Well, it is, but it's not pneumonia or something, which is what I was worried because he's gotten like really chesty and deep, it sounded like. So I was pleased to hear that it was just allergies, which is what my husband had guessed, but I was like, well, I've been hanging around so long that, yeah, it was time to go get it checked. The eldest also just really likes going to the doctor. They have no fear about it. They love the stethoscope. That's their favorite thing. So considering that they had to get their lungs checked today, it was good. Our doctor's awesome. So she basically she said keep giving the eldest some Prospan, which is it's not a cough suppressant, which is what she really likes. It's just like a soothing, and basically just watch for like the other signs of illness that could be an indication that something more serious. So like fever, change of attitude, appetite loss, etc. So I was very happy. But normally what I do is I drop both the kids off and then go for my run. But I knew I had to go to the doctor, so I wasn't in my running gear. I debated about actually going out and just doing it. And then I was like, but I've got my physio appointment and I need to shower for that. So came home, showered for the physio. And I've decided what I'll do is I'll go out for a run with the kids in the double like jogging stroller we have. It's only 45 minutes. I haven't done that for a while. It'll be a good use for our night tonight because it's always really hard after they come back from like childcare because they've missed you all day and they're tired. Our oldest doesn't nap, but usually she falls asleep in the Jeep after we've picked her up. Our youngest is still napping, but I've asked his childcare, to cut back the nap today because bedtime is getting to be an absolute beast with them. Like, they didn't go to bed until like 10:30 last night, and I know that's a little bit of like summer schedule too. Obviously, being up in Dawson didn't help that either since they're an hour behind. But I'm just like, oh gosh, it's just getting too much. So we've tried that a little bit at home because the youngest still needs the nap. They can't get through the day pleasantly without it, but it's like yesterday they almost skipped it completely. So they napped on the way home from dropping Dallas off at work, and then napped on the way home, but then they napped like 5:30 to 6:30, which was partially my fault. I knew letting them nap that late and that long was going to be trouble, but it was still a nice break. I know they've been out of childcare, the eldest had been out of childcare all day. The youngest had not. We chilled at home and just had a rest. All right, there's all of the bags sewn. So now what I got to do is I'm going to go through and pull all the pins, do a count of how many bags I actually need to do, and get something like 25. And then we'll go through and we will clip. Yeah, we'll draw and clip all of the box edges, and we'll see where we get to from there. So I think this whole sewing around the 4 sides instead of like doing 2 and 2 did work better. Although I think what I might do next time that's a little bit different is I will still sew the bottom and the interior and exterior together, and then sew the side seams. I think that will make it easier. I'm going to mute myself to take a drink of coffee. Yeah, it's the one thing I did miss. I did not miss having to wrangle that whole piece of fabric like I did on some of the older style ones. It was definitely easier to top stitch. It was definitely easier to like maneuver through the machine for most of the parts, but I think I want to switch it so that we end up getting stuff. Ugh, kids eat your words. Okay, there's 4. So one of the things I do, because I work in such high, well, not high, but I do work in production numbers, is I'll stack them in like sets of 5 with the zippers turning different directions so that I know what's a stack of 5. And then it gives me a good idea of like how many I have left. It's really easy, like quick and easy to count afterwards if I need to, because I always lose track. All right, these look like they've all had their pins pulled, which is nice. I will go through and I'll clip the zipper here, and actually on a lot of these I'm probably going to trim down the seam allowance as well. So if you're curious what I was looking at for at Staples, I was looking at different microphones actually. I want to get a little bit more professional mic, but I was debating if I should get like a desk mic that stays home or if I should get one that will do like all the things. So I used to have one that plugged into like the lightning port on the iPhone. But it doesn't obviously work with the laptop, which is what I'm streaming on right now. Obviously, camera quality is better on the phone. Probably what I should do is I should stream on the phone. But typically I've got the phone set up to actually record. So it's like this catch-22 of like record the really good footage and then just do the live on the laptop, because realistically the live quality is not that bad. Or stream from the phone. If I stream from the phone, I wouldn't need a new mic. But like the one I have right now, the lapel mic, I've listened back to some of the audio and like it's a cheap mic. It is not the highest quality audio. I figure it's better than whatever's in the actual Mac, maybe. Hope so. I do like the fact that it's further away, so I don't have to worry about if the mic is catching my voice or not. And it seems to work. It works, but that's all it does. Anyway, I was debating if I should get like a desk mic. Well, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With like a boom, or like a podcasting mic, which because that's basically what I'm doing is podcasting, even though I'm live streaming. Or if I should try and get like an all-in-one like mobile mic, which I previously had the one, like I said, that plugged into the lightning port. But if I'm not using my phone, I can't use it on the laptop. Blah blah blah. It's also not set up to like get like an adapter to be able to like use it anymore, really. From what I can tell, I probably should do a little bit more research on that maybe first. But they do have an upgraded version now that comes with like its own little tripod, and I'd be able to use it on the actual MacBook. I'd be able to use it on the phone. Like it would be an upgrade to this lapel mic when I'm on my phone and all of that. So I was like, okay, let's just get one piece instead of multiple pieces. It saves like $100, and B, it saves like that output of energy for it as well. Well, now, in a few weeks, who knows, I might change my mind. I do kind of have an idea of what I would use now for a desk mic. So it'd just be a Blue Yeti. Very accessible. So we'll see. I don't know. It would be more accessible. But you can't really walk around with it. Which I guess, like, the only time we're going to start doing that. Oh, we did decide. So we've been hemming and hawing about when we're going to go back to Japan. We're doing, obviously, Dopey Challenge next year. That kind of sucks up most of our... well, it sucks up Dallas's vacation a little bit and money. Money. That's what it sucks up. But we've decided, like, I want to really run the Tokyo Marathon if I can. So I think what we decided is we'd been hemming and hawing. We own DVC, so we're like, well, let's go to Hawaii in 25, and like that'll be really good with the kids and all that. Then I looked at a like cruise and totally mistook how many points you would need for a cruise. That was really annoying. So I was so excited. I was like, man, this is perfect. I really want to go on a cruise again. And I know we could go do cheaper cruises, but like the Disney cruise was just so good. And with the kids, I'm like way more comfortable with Disney cast members and like how they're trained to deal with kids, all of that. So, and then we're like, okay, well, if we don't get into Tokyo Marathon, we'll go on this cruise, blah, blah, blah. Then I figured out the points were meh. And the kids would probably enjoy Hawaii more if they understood what a volcano was. Because if we went to Hawaii, we'd be going and doing like the Volcano National Park, obviously, and all of that. Anyway, so we have decided that instead we're just going to go to Tokyo or to Japan in 25. I'm going to need a fabric trip around then anyway. And sorry, I'm looking for the either my like cheat sheet one there. That'll work. Basically what I'll do is we will go it's either going to be January or March. So if we get into the Tokyo Marathon, we'll go for the marathon. If we don't, we'll just go in January. Because January is fairly inexpensive, which is nice. I need to make sure that the flights stay inexpensive because WestJet started offering these direct flights, and I know Japan is really busy, but like it's like $5,000 for the one way back, which is absolutely nuts. It tells me that Air Canada needs to bring back their direct flights because like there's so much demand, or WestJet needs to like offer more direct flights because right now they're offering Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or something like that. Anyway, I think the solution is they need to add more flights out of Tokyo, which means that they need to add more flights into Tokyo, which would be amazing. So now we are going through and we're going to cut all the box edges. I do not just sew them, I actually cut them. And then I sew the box edges together. I guess I should actually also figure out how many labels I need. So I need I have cotton linen blend labels and cotton labels for like with care instruction labels. Basically branding labels. That did not transfer well. Usually do this with like a big pen or something like that, but I don't have that handy right now. So we're just going to use my air erase pen. Anyway, I'm super excited about it. The kids will be young. They will definitely be young, but I think they're going to enjoy it. Like there's stuff we can do. We've been to Japan enough that it's like, it's not like we're expecting to go and do everything again. It's not going to be a 3-week trip. We're going to go to Hirokatashi and have some curry. So across from my university when I was on exchange, so I was on exchange at Kansai Gaidai, for those of you who don't know, during my university year. No, I did not go back and teach. This business is how I reconnect with Japan right now. But across from my university in Hirokatashi, there is the freaking best curry I've ever had. Nan that is massive. Like, so the joke with the Japanese students is it's bigger than your face. It's probably about this big. Like it's probably like, I don't know, 18 inches long. And then wide, like it's not skinny and all that. And it's the best curry. Anyway, from what I can tell, they survived the pandemic, which is awesome. And I haven't been there for years. Well, and like I haven't been there for years, even having been to Japan. So I'm ready to go. And there's a craft store there. So we'll go and we'll buy some fabric and we'll go to the curry, which will be amazing. But there's stuff like the aquarium. We'll go and we'll visit Takako. She has a ramen restaurant she really wants us to try. So we'll go do that. And the aquarium. Kyoto has the railway museum. So like there's lots of stuff to do with kids. There's a really cool playground at Osaka-jo, which is Osaka Castle. All of that. And obviously, if we're there for the marathon, we'll run the marathon. If we're not, we're not. That's fine. All right. Cut down the seam allowances here on this bag, and then we will go to the next one. So what I do now, so I go through and I box all the edges. And then we sew all the edges. Surprise. And then we go, haha, we did it. And move on to the next thing. I don't normally cut down the seam allowance too much on these, but because of how I sewed it, I'm going to cut them down today. A little bit more generous seam allowance, just to make sure everything got caught. And just like, so that selvages got sewn over and all of that. So I'll cut down now. But what else so we decided that I basically plotted it out. I gotta find hotels in Japan that are family friendly. It can be really hard sometimes to tell which ones are family friendly and which ones are not, but I'll get there. And if I need fabric before that, I will make a mad dash trip in just by myself on a week that my husband's at work. But otherwise, yeah. Okay. Speak the devil. There's like sweets companies emailing me about the Japanese sweets right now. Okay, I'm gonna move the bin up here, so it's behind me, and I'm gonna move my coffee over here. My mug is from Shelley Artistry Co. Super cute. I love it. Anyway, you may as well see me instead of my bag sometimes. Yeah, so that's the plan right now. We'll go to Japan in 25, which I'm excited for because it'd be fun to take the kids. It was really heartening to see how many little kids were there when I was there in May. Because they're like, I don't know, it can be hard to travel with little kids, but there was a lot of them. So, and about the age range that we're thinking of going in 25 as well. So that was heartening. Okay. Apparently I did miss pins in this one. Let's see if I got the rest of them. Hey, Flynn. Okay, so that was, I got 3 there. 5, 10, 15, 23. So there's 24 bags total, so complete. And why would I count them now? I count them now because I don't remember how many I finished before the pop-up. Which actually that makes sense because I think there's like 33 big bags. And I got like 8 finished right before I came home. So I was obviously on live just before I went and set up because there's that whole dithering about I'll be back, and then I wasn't back. Of course. But the that night I came home and actually finished like 8 more bags because I didn't have enough big bags. I barely filled the rack. So yeah. I need to get someone for Nitsy. It's like I'm signed up for a 20-foot booth, and this year I'm like, oh, I still want the 20-foot booth because it's a lot easier access for like strollers, wheelchairs, people with mobility aids, me, like there's room for me in the booth and all that. But I also want it to be a good showing. So I guess I will be having a lot of late nights in the next few months. All right, that one's good. I did get my serger running again. So I went off of stream the other day and I did not feel like sewing anymore. I was just like, no, I need something different. It felt like I was going to just start like messing stuff up if I were just to continue sewing. And that just happens sometimes. More time spent in fixing the mess ups than there is like just sewing. So it felt like that kind of night. So I'm like, okay, it's a good time to stop. But I wanted to do something productive. And my foot on my serger was wobbling. I don't know why. It's an old vintage, it's called a family lock. I think the closest that I've seen more of is the Kawasaki version of it. I think the Kawasaki is just a green version of my machine. Absolutely amazing machine. It's basically a semi-industrial. I got it off Kijiji for like $125, all that. And it is built in such a way that I can more or less self-maintenance it. Considering my last call to the mobile sewing machine person, I was like, I am going to do this myself and fix it myself. And I did. Actually, the worst part of it was that the screws on the front started stripping. So I got to get some new little screws for the faceplate of it. But that doesn't actually affect the sewing of the serger at all. So I put the 2 in the top and the 2 in the body that were most important. And I think I need 2 more down at the bottom to just kind of like finish holding everything in place. But it's not like it moved anything. So there's no point in worrying about it right now. Anyway, I need to rethread it because I tried a different threading, which didn't work. I followed the instructions. It didn't work. So I'm going to thread it back to how it was when I started sewing last night. And I've broken all the needles that came with it. But I figured out that the needles that I have for my industrial are actually the needles that the serger needs. So that's awesome. So excited. And why is this exciting? This is exciting because it means that I can start producing grime guards, which has been on the list for a while. And I used to make them with like a hemming foot, I think is what I used on the industrial. And it's just kind of, sorry, I'm getting all sorts of spam emails apparently. Anyway, the hemming foot is just kind of too persnickety. So what I'm doing now is I'm just serging all the edges, and then it's getting sewn down and finished with the industrial machine. So I tack down basically I serge all the edges, I tack them down with the industrial, and then I thread my elastic through and finish with the industrial, tacking down the elastic as well. So, and if you're on my stream earlier, you know that I jumped ship on my hardware. I was purchasing it from a shop in Edmonton, and I will continue to purchase it when I don't have time from Edmonton. But instead, I bought it from Meaty World, which is a AliExpress seller, and it got here in like 11 days, and it saved me over $60 on just the one order. So I want to support local, but honestly, it's the same hardware. And I will continue to support local in the fact that like I will eventually make another order with them, because I won't have 11 days to wait for something. But yeah, I made a really good customer service, super fast shipping. Like that was awesome. All that. I also got the leather cordon for the Kato bags that we need to make for Knit City, between Paula's order and just general stock. So I think we're more or less all set for that. I just gotta do the other work of like getting everything finished. So I'm gonna finish these up, and then the next thing we're gonna go do is Kato cutting. I need to cut the canvases for the bottoms. I think that's where we'll start, and then we'll start doing the linings from there. I can't remember if I counted up all of what I counted up. So I'm gonna have to just double check some stuff before I do that. But that'll probably be tonight. I will hopefully get these big bags done in the next couple of hours. We've got just under 2 hours left. And there's a lot of construction around here, so childcare runs till like 5:30. But it takes me about a half hour to get into town right now in the evenings. So I'm just like, I have to leave by at least 4:30 to go pick up the first one. And then I have to end up being across town for 5:30 for the other one. Because otherwise it's something like $2 per minute that you're late, which is nuts. And like totally reasonable. But I'm like, I do not want to be late. I was late dropping my eldest off today because of the walk-in doctor, which was fine. They were 5 minutes late. Whoop-de-doo. We still got to camp. This week's camp is like princesses and superheroes, and they're having so much fun at it. It's not like so adorable. So just going through, and I'll actually turn the camera down a little bit so you can see what I'm doing here. I'm measuring out the box edges for the big bags. We're finishing up bags that I didn't get finished for the pop-up in July. And yeah. I went and got donair today after my physio appointment, and it was delicious, but I think they forgot to put the donair sauce on it. It's technically a shawarma, but whatever. It was delicious, but I got chili garlic sauce, and it was really spicy. I think whatever chilies they actually had for it were really spicy. All right. A lot of their sauces are in-house made, and actually that one isn't, so that would explain the differences. But they make their own donair sauce. They've got something called Mama's garlic sauce, which is house made. It's all really good. There was a cat back there a few minutes ago. I'm sure you've seen him wandering back and forth, but I don't know where he went. I can hear him creeping, but that's it. Oh yeah, I haven't These have all been cotton so far. Oh, I gotta double check on the sheep. They might be a cotton linen blend, so let's do that while I'm thinking about it. I end up having to do this a lot. Of like, I think it's cotton linen blend, but I don't know actually. And how many others do I think? These guys, the cats and floral wreaths, are definitely cotton linen blend. Let's just separate them out that way, and then I don't have to think about it when I'm actually sewing them up. The Shiba Inus are cotton linen blend. The eyeglass, I don't know if you've seen the stream of the eyeglass cases, but my goodness, they all turned out freaking amazing. I'm so pleased with how they turned out. All right. Do. All cats and floral wreaths. 1, 2, 3, 4 banana cats. Banana cats. And then 5. And then 1, 2. Oh no, that one's definitely a cotton linen blend. Okay, so there's 2 more cotton linen blends in here. So it's like the wave cats with the octopus attacking. And then the rest of them are cottons. Excellent. And it doesn't really change anything because these have all been hot washed and dried. I do suggest to machine wash on cool when you do, and then air dry. And why I make those suggestions is because the interfacing seems to hold its shape better when it's been air dried, and just kind of like you pop the corners out really gently and just add the shape back to it. But that's it. All right, so there's 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That one's still got a pin in it. 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 10, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so 15 cotton, and we'll see if the sheep are cotton or not. Handy dandy phone, because go to the website. I love the write-up for Nomura Taylor in the Inside Kyoto. It's like, you gotta see this if you're interested in sewing or other needlecrafts. You must pay a visit to Kyoto, to the fantastic Nomura Taylor shop when in Kyoto. That is the least offensive sentence of this. It's the next one. With 3 large floors of goods, Nomura Taylor must surely be one of the world's best sewing and needlecraft shops. I don't disagree with that, but it's just kind of can tell that the article was probably written by someone who was in a sewist or something like that. Their selection of fabrics is second to none, and their sewing tool selection is mind-blowing, and their button and thread selection is almost endless. Best of all, the shop is conveniently located right downtown, a short walk from Nishiki Market. So, like, no lies, but it's just an interesting, it's funny. I laughed at it when I giggled at it the first time I read it. I don't know why. It's both enthusiastic and not at the same time. It's just feels like enthusiasm written by someone who is not an enthusiast of it. There we go. All right. Let's stop blathering on about other people's writing style. We need to find the sheep. Because I think, hey, I was right. It's a cotton linen blend. All of it's sold out, it looks like. Nope. There are 2 left. Huh. Interesting. 80-20. Okay. All right. So it's 80-20. I have a feeling that most of the cats here are 80-20. Let's see. I know the Shiba Inus are in 80-20. Well, let's do banana cat. Japanese fabric. No. Ha. Found it. It's saying that it's a full cotton, which I don't believe. They're saying that's a canvas. I feel like that's not right. I feel like it's a cotton linen blend. Just by the hand of it, it's a cotton linen blend. But they're all saying it's 100% cotton. What the heck? Okay, whatever. I'm going to go with an 80-20 or an 85-15. That's the most common too. Well, it's really the only two. All right, there's another cotton. So we got two cottons, and then there's like 13 over here, I said, and then that makes that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, let's say 8 cotton linens. Now, I did find my pinking shears at least for this, so that's good. What do I have in here? There, I've got the cotton linens. So this is the 85-15. Actually, most of the time it's 85-15. The sheep being 80-20 is weird. Or odd man out. Not weird. Just not what is typical. Okay. I got a bunch of 80-20s cut here, which is good. And I'll just grab my pinking shears and we'll do the cuts now while I'm thinking about it. I think I'll just end up doing probably 20 and 10, and then, because it's not like I'm not going to use them this summer. Okay. I just realized we got to finish all of those knot bags. Okay, so should do the cats and floral wreaths. Sometimes I take photos of this stuff. Sometimes I don't. And it's like, why don't I just take photos of all of it to try and figure it out, or to just keep track of it? But I don't know. Sometimes I'm just not thinking about that when I'm actually like there doing stuff. And the banana cats that I'm seeing are definitely cotton. But this is just lightly, there we go. Fruit linen. Yes, please change it so that I can view it. Cotton linen. 85-15 for banana cats. Okay, so the sheep were 80-20. 20 banana cat. 85-15. Cancel. I do not want to buy stuff off Amazon in Japan, but you're very useful for information sometimes. Okay, so now we need the cats surfing waves. I know this is so engaging for you guys. But this is what I have to do half the time as I'm working, because it's just kind of like you don't think of it until you do it. Okay, there it is right there. Tuxedo Neko Textiles. That is adorable. I love it. It's not cotton. That's not even a picture of cotton fabric. My best guess is that it is 85-15 because of who produced it, which should be printed here somewhere. Or maybe it's not in the salvage edge. Yeah, it's Cotton Kobayashi. Project by Cotton Kobayashi. Okay. So, Project Cotton by Kobayashi, which is like such a... Yeah, it doesn't sound like it should be, but it is. Ooh. One of the websites there has some very good fabrics. All right, let's see if I can track it down. All right, I may need to do that one later. Cats and floral leaves. And floral wreath, Japanese. probably do have that photo, but tracking it down is the other problem. I should actually just take them and save them somewhere, but I wasn't thinking of that this time. There we go. 85.15. Okay, so cats and floral leaves. Or floral leaves, cats and floral wreaths. Okay, and then what else is there? There's the Shiba Inu. Shiba Inu is 80-20. Sheep, Shiba, wreaths, waves, banana cats. Actually, the banana cats is also a project by Cotton Kobayashi. So that means that the waves are 80-20 as well. And then that's it. Sweet. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3 80-20s. Yeah, 1, 2, 3 80-20s, which I don't need to cut. And plus they're in different, they're like in alternate colors, and then the cats and yeah, okay. So let's just cut like 5 or 6 of the 85-15s, and then we'll cut like 20 of the cottons, and we'll call it a day because, like I said, it's not like I'm not going to use these later in the year. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In fact, it's not like I'm not going to use these in like 2 days when I'm sewing other stuff. I should technically just go through and cut all these up and then bag them, but I haven't because I don't know. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, actually 20. Because then I don't have to worry about like trying to track down ones that have already been cut too badly. Okay, so let's pop that back in the drawers. Flynn is currently quality control inspecting the inner seams on some of those bags. It's actually in the bin behind me. Yeah, there you go. You can see them right there. Okay, and now I'll go through and I'll actually just trim these up. So I'll use these little steps that I forget about doing and like how much time they do actually end up consuming sometimes. All right, behave yourselves. You just got sharpened. I don't know why you're having issues. There we go. They feel almost like they need a little bit of oil. So yeah, so what else are we going to be up to here? I've got Omatsuri on August 12th at the Max Bell Center. The best way to find information is either through their Instagram or their website. Just search Omatsuri Calgary. So OMATSURI. And that'll give you all the information for this year's event. And then the next item on the agenda is now Knit City in September. So that's super exciting. I'm going to throw my name in the hat for Royal Bison up in Edmonton in November, which I'm excited about. It's one of those shows that I've been watching for. And again, it works with my husband's schedule one of the weeks. And yeah, we're just kind of ticking along. July was insanely busy. So I'm looking forward to a little bit quieter August in some ways. Just like buckle down on our training, do some stuff with the kids, and just get work done. And by buckle down on the training, that means running. We're training for the Dopey Challenge in Walt Disney World in January, which is a 5, 10, half, and full marathon in 4 days. I know we've done 48 miles or 48.6, however many miles it actually works out to, in 4 days at the parks, but we've never done them in like as high a concentration as the marathon in one fell swoop. So we're both kind of like, ooh, this is going to be tough. And yes, could I sew these in on these bags as I'm sewing these side seams? 100%. Do I ever think of it beforehand? No. And that's why I end up having to do it like this. So let's get back to the cutting. At least that's done. And now I can just go through and get the cutting done. And then we can sew the corners, hopefully. What did I say? Yeah, we still got like an hour and a half. And I'll probably do some work off camera as well. Just I want to be able to make sure I can leave at the drop of a hat. So I'll finish the stream at 4. Okay, cut. I can't believe that it's already like, what is it? It's almost the end of July already, which is insane. I feel like Stampede was just starting the other day. But that's just like my grandma always said, it's like when Stampede's over, summer's over. And like it's kind of depressing, but it's kind of true too. It's like you hit the end of that, and then like, and yeah, with just how busy we've been in July, it's just like, oh my goodness. But it's good. It'll be fine. Thinking about it, I don't normally tend to like start sewing for Knit City until this point anyway, or even like early August. So the fact that I'm nearly done the big bags that I will be taking for Knit City is a good step ahead. Now, does that mean that I should be starting in August? No, I should be starting way earlier. But that's just how the cookie crumbled this year. I'm super excited to get working. So I think I told the whole convoluted story about the serger. Anyway, it's fixed. And what's exciting about that is I want to do the grime guards, which will be awesome. They're a product that I offered before, but right, I did say that. But how I finished them was really time consuming, whereas just being able to run it through the serger and then fold the hem over and hem them basically is going to make it so much easier. That's how I finished the cake cozies as well. And it works really well. So now I just got to get a needle installed in there and we'll get some grime guards sewn. I need to actually I need to install a needle in there. Then I need to get this tidied up so that I can put the serger on here and actually doing the sewing. I also need to take the little, this desk is crooked. I don't know if you can see that or not, because it still has the like leg adapters for like the screw-on legs for it. They're on there because I just basically plopped the desktop on top of the drawer set because I was like, I think this will work here. I had this open and then I was like, I need something back there for like stuff, because otherwise it just ends up on the floor, which doesn't work, right? So I set this up instead, and it is working very well. What did I have set up there before? I think I had like a folding card table set up back there or something, and I'm like, no, this isn't cutting it, because it's got that like squishy vinyl top on it and stuff, and it's just like, nah, bad, no. Not a good sensory experience when you're sewing or trying to work on it. Card table, awesome. Extra table is set up for Christmas, awesome. Excuse me. That is the extent of it. Actually, I do take it to shows quite a bit because it's good size and shape for stuff. Even if I just take it to like do a temporary setup for setting up. That's how I used it last year. I brought it and then I was just like, well, I'm just going to use this for like setting up while setting up. I am getting excited for Knit City. I really liked my booth last year, how it came together. I've got plans this year for how it's going to come together. It is pared down. So I had 30 feet last year. I pared it down to 20 this year because there's just no way. And 30 feet, like it did come to the point of diminishing returns. Paying for the 30-foot booth didn't make me extra money. So back down to the 20. I will not go below a 20 at Knit City though, because as I mentioned before, the accessibility of it is just, it's too good at 20 feet versus 10, even corner 10s, for me at least. So there's that. And then, yeah, and then kind of just sell in for, I'll try and stock more throughout the year. Now that the kids are in reliable childcare, as long as we don't continue to get as sick as we did last year, this, fingers crossed, I'll be able to work more consistently over the winter, which will help significantly with like having stock on hand again and I'll be able to actually get into the May fabrics, which would be awesome. All right, trim. Like I said, I don't normally trim down this much, but like there's a lot of excess fabric this time, with selvages and everything like that. So I'm trimming down the selvages. I always trim down the zipper ends because I don't want them flip-flopping around inside the bag. That seems like it'd be super annoying. All that. I also had we had a heat wave come through the other day. It was so hot. It was like 35 degrees in Calgary. And of course, it was on Monday, which is our longest training run day. So it's like, get out as early as we can and get on the trail because we don't want to boil. We still boil. It was not an experience I want to relive anytime soon. So tonight I will be running after I pick kiddos up. So I'll be a little bit later. But it's also super windy. So like I think it says it's like 25. Well, the high is supposed to be 23. I think it was 23 or 24 when I was driving in the Jeep just now. And that's not bad. So by the time I go out and actually run, it should have cooled down a little bit, around 20, which is good. It's good to be doing this training in this little bit warmer weather because Florida is not exactly cool. Though we do have the benefits of like coming from a high elevation to a low elevation. And then we have the cons of like we won't have been training in the hot weather for a few months before the race. And also the humidity. I think the humidity will be what actually gets us, because even when I started the run on Monday, it was cool. It was about 18 degrees, but it was humid for here. Looked at the relative humidity, it was about 55%. Then I recorded an outdoor walk just after that, and it actually dropped to like 35% because I'd warmed up so much. It was nuts. All right, I don't know what bag I'm on right now. Lost track. That's okay. Like what bag numbers I've got left. Probably around 20. Considering that we went through and did counts and figured out fabric compositions. Excuse me. But I'm going to try and get out and do something with the kiddos this weekend, because otherwise I'm going to go cabin fever even though it's summertime. We're all going to get cabin fever even though it's summertime. I don't know what we're doing yet, but we'll figure something out. I'm going to meet up with a friend for sure. And yeah. All right, I need a little bit more coffee and to get this cough out of my throat. It was already cold. That's disappointing. Not surprising, but definitely disappointing. All right, this one doesn't need much trimming down, just the bottom here with the interfacing. So it's not hanging out all like loose in the bottom. Am I just throwing my stuff on the floor? Yes, I will tidy it up afterwards. I will. It just afterwards will be like afternoon city at this point, probably. Or if I can't roll my chair around in my little area. That's actually usually when I tidy up right now. It's so hard keeping it tidy down here because it's like there's so much for the kids to get into. They knocked my clips off the other day. I still haven't taken the time to pick them back up. I haven't needed my clips. I am going to need my clips, but I haven't yet. And so there has been no like impetus to actually pick them up, which is terrible, but they're clips. So it's like, whatever. Just don't step on them. If you step on them, they break. But it's also over in my like snap area. So it's like on the floor behind me here. So it's not like a frequently trafficked area, which is good. I'm going to be very happy when I am done these big bags. Excuse me. Probably should have gone for a nap instead. Holy. Oh yeah, I'm in between books. So I just finished listening to The Ghost Bride. I started listening to Isle of the Gods by Amy Kaufman. Sorry, The Ghost Bride's by Yangsze Choo. The audiobook's actually read by her, which is super awesome. I love it. And it's one of those ones I really listen to quite a bit. And if I had the book, I would reread as well. I think I had the ebook, but whatever. The audiobook is still like one of my favorites, I think. I think it might be my favorite. But I started The Isle of the Gods by Amy Kaufman. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm just not in the mindset for it, or like I cannot get into it right now. I love Amy Kaufman as an author. Nothing against her. So I think it's just I'm not in the right headset for it. Or it might need to actually be physically read instead of audiobook, which like something about the audiobook narrator might just throw me off. Something about the subject matter might just throw me off of like. But yeah, I was trying to listen to it last night. I just could not get my head in it. So I'll come back to that one later. Anyway, this leads me to asking, what are you guys listening to or reading that I might be able to get in audiobook form? Because I'm always looking for new suggestions. When I'm not streaming and I'm sewing, I am listening to an audiobook. And yeah, so I think tonight I might come on and just do an ASMR, like sewing. And so I can listen to my audiobook or an audiobook. I think I talked about this last time I streamed, but I was listening to another romance book, and they were both wanted to like hook up, and they were both like, no, we can't because we want to be like adults. And I actually did not finish. It went DNF because I was just like, there is no reason that you shouldn't hook up if you want to. And I was just like, ugh, I couldn't stand it. I was like, get out of here. So that's what I did. Got it out of there. But now I'm kind of like at an impasse about what I should listen to. There are some books, the Ravenel series, which I've been listening to by Lisa Claypass, which is completely historical smut. The next round of their releases on Scribd are upcoming July 31st. So at least I've got stuff coming up. Those aren't like the most amazing books ever, but they're not bad. They're good like fluff to listen to while I'm actually sewing. I don't have to pay that much attention to them in general. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out what to listen to, and I don't know what. I basically have all the audiobook streaming platforms, so don't worry. It's like on Audible or something like that. I do like to use Scribd and the library the most, simply because that boosts my library numbers, and Scribd is basically unlimited streaming. But I do subscribe to Audible as well because they have some books that the other two platforms don't. So, or they have them available when I want to listen to them, which is actually more key, I guess. Maybe I should get Crazy Rich Asians. That would be a good one. I actually watched the movie when we were flying to Singapore. We weren't flying to Singapore, but they did. When we went to Japan, though. Did I watch it on the way there or the way back? I can't remember. I think it was on the way there. It's good entertainment. I like it. But I've read the book before, but honestly, I probably should just listen to the audiobook because I haven't finished the series of books yet. So maybe that'll be the next one. I'm also going to need some suggestions for because my training runs are going to start getting really long. So about 2 to 3 weeks before the actual race weekend, the program that I'm using for training wants me to basically do a race weekend. So it's I think it was 5, 12, and 26 miles, which isn't exactly, of course, but it's darn close. And that's gonna fall mid-December here, and I'm like, okay, if it's not bad outside, I can go do it outside, and that would be better. But if it is super icy outside, no, or minus 30. I think my ideal lowest temperature is about minus 10, no wind chill, which those are two conditions that are really hard to fulfill in this area. So if you have suggestions about what I could watch on Netflix, I would appreciate it. That's what I'm looking forward to. Audiobook recommendations and Netflix recommendations. I've done Bridgerton. I haven't done the Queen Charlotte season or whatever it is. I've done the first two seasons of Bridgerton. I've watched The Ghost Bride on there. I'm actually thinking what I should do, especially for the 26 miles, is binge watch Lord of the Rings. Just or at least over the course of the 4 days of training is just watch Lord of the Rings on the treadmill. because it's going to be a lot. Extended edition too, not the theatrical release. I'm not going into these races thinking I'm going to get any personal bests. That's for sure. I am going and hoping that I finish, which I think is achievable. My pace is not where it needs to be right now, but I think if I get my plantar fasciitis like sorted out, and obviously I've still got, I think I've got 5.5 months. Yeah, 5.5 months to train right now. No, 5 months at this point because it's early January. I think I got it. I think I got it. I haven't even run a half yet. I do have a half scheduled for October, which is good. Just to make sure, like, it's not, I feel like physically I probably could do it at this point. It's more mentally if I can do it or not. And at least that one, it won't be too hot, which will be nice. I need that ruler that bumped off. Okay, we're getting there. One bag at a time. I know that's the only way through this, but I stayed up way too late last night. Could have probably used the nap. The nap would have made me more productive right now. So maybe what I'll do after this is I'll go for a nap after I'm done streaming. Because then I can come back and do it again tonight. Not terrible. All right, just about there. This is another one of the sheep bags. This is like the beige background with the black sheep outlines. Super cute. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Go. I was digging through, I was looking for fabric for a specific triangle pouch last night. Last night. I was looking at some of the fabric in the triangle pouch bin. Some of it actually will not work for triangle pouches. I don't know why it's in there. It must have just been like, here, this looks like it'll work. And now I got to go through and actually measure them and see what works. Some of it definitely will not. Some of it, however, will work for like cake cozies and for wristlets. Anyway, but I was looking in there and it's like a total walk down this like memory lane and all that. And there are some good triangle pouches in there still without me even having to like cut anything, which is awesome. Sweet. Day home updates. All right. I know these streams always come out at such an odd time, but like because it's the only time that I have childcare, it's the only time I can stream most of the time. I will probably come, or I will be on in the evenings most of this week. I wasn't on last night because I really didn't know how much work I was going to get done. And I just wanted to sit down and go. Not that it takes me long to set up the stream, but for some reason it just makes everything go slower. And I know I'm not the only one that has had that experience either. So whatever. But I will be on tonight because at the same time, it's very motivational. 2 streams in 1 day. Who am I? But I will also be back on in the afternoon on Friday because that will be a normal stream day. But my youngest got an extra day home, so that's why we're here now. That's awesome. All right, let's see here. Yeah, I think after this, so we got, I think the majority, no, we've got Paula's large box bag linings cut. We need to cut the linings for my large box bag collection, and then we need to cut the linings for small box bag collection, and we need to cut the linings for Kato. And by linings for Kato, they need to have the lining and the pockets cut, which means I need to actually take some fabric upstairs to wash because I've got it's really nice, cool, like right now I've just basically got florals for the interiors for interior pockets. But the print that I have that's black was actually running hard enough that it was transferring on the thread going through the fabric. So I need to take it upstairs and wash it before is that right? Before I actually use it in the bags. I washed So I'd already sewn the pockets together, like lengthwise, on the fold before I realized this. And then I was like, oh, so I went and like washed all that. I've pulled the fabric off the bolt, but I just need to take it up to the machine and wash it and probably iron it. I probably should iron it afterwards. So what I'll probably do is I'll get these done, even if I get them done off camera. And then I will go tidy up my room, because that's the other big thing that needs to happen, because I pulled a bunch of OB out to make wallets. Actually, should we cut wallets? Okay. So we've got Omatsuri and then we've got Knit City. And Knit City means that I need to get Paula's order done as well. The Kato have been extremely popular, so I do need to get those done for Knit City too. And of course, a restock on large box bags. We also have all these knot bags to sew, and they're like 80% done. So, I don't know what to sew now. We'll work on something tonight. I don't know what it'll be. It'll be a surprise stream. Probably the knot bags. The knot bags would make sense because they're so close to being done. Although it would make sense. I will wash. I'll take the fabric upstairs and get it washing at least. So that'll be one step done. And then I think it'll be wallet cutting if it's not bag sewing. I'm going to be cutting and making the necessary clutch wallet by inline bags. And I just realized there is actually a wristlet that I want to make as well, but the pattern sales agreement right at the bottom says I can't post film of it anywhere online. So that'll be happening off camera. I've got enough made glasses cases. Do need some OB cases for Omatsuri. So yeah, maybe we'll do wallets and purses for Omatsuri, along with the knot bags. I think that sounds like a good plan. I'm definitely going to finish up this stream and go for a quick nap, just so I'm in a better place for childcare tonight, and so I can go for my run, because I'm going to go for the run with them in the stroller. Just with how everything panned out, that seems like the best option. Normally I do run in the mornings, but again, between like a walk-in doctor's appointment and then my physio is just like, no, not today. Plus, I actually prefer to run in the evenings, but it's just harder because it's like, it is a lot of extra work to push the kids. Today is a good day to do the kid push though, because it's like, it's only for me, it is only 45 minutes, which is about 5 kilometers right now. Although pushing the kids, I'll probably be about 3.5. I don't even know right now. Like I said, my pace has dropped so much. So I was at what I would consider my personal physical peak. I hit in 2019, right before we had kids. I started getting pregnant. And my pace at that time was very pleasing, but it's definitely nowhere near what it was now as it was then. So no surprise. And I know like that physical peak in 2019 took about a 1.5 to 2 years to get to as well. And realistically, I've only been training for, I think, 5 months at this point, I would say. Like, actually intentionally training. So, I'll get there. It's just slow and steady progress and consistency. Not jumping on and off all the time. And it's partly why we decided to have the kids back to back, is so that I didn't have to do this recovery twice, basically. Like, get pregnant, get back in shape, have another kid, and have to redo the whole process. No. And like, yeah, I was really active with the first pregnancy because I was doing spin and yoga and all, like, as much as I could, until basically my ligament said, no, you're done. Which ironically was about 2 weeks before COVID shut everything down anyway. So I was like, I had to duck out at the end of February. I was like, no, this is getting too hard on my body. I would have been like 32 weeks pregnant at that point. And I was like, I'm done. See ya. And then COVID shut everything down. So I had good timing. But I swear, that studio with the spin and yoga and all of that saved my sanity during my first pregnancy. And my second pregnancy were in far worse condition for the pandemic. So I was definitely not going to the study. Plus, it was harder with the first little mite around as well. Still is, to be honest. Tomorrow I do have spin though, so I'm going to drop my youngest off with my mother-in-law and go to spin, and it's going to be fantastic because I need to add in some cross training for running. It's funny because most of it's like, you don't need to cross train, and I'm like, but that was when I was my strongest, was like when I was running, spin, and yoga consistently. So that was like my trifecta. I really like swimming too, but for whatever reason, I just don't get out to do it enough. I think maybe in the wintertime I might. So basically, how we're going to try and organize the year now is we're going to end up with the Dopey Challenge, complete the Dopey Challenge. That's the number one priority next year. Right at the beginning of the year, so setting the bar high for the rest of the year, which is funny because it is going to end up making the rest of our year, like when we would normally start our race season, is going to basically be the middle of our race season. But anyway, run and finish the Dopey Challenge, and then I'm going to train for the half marathon in Calgary because I'm pretty sure if I want to qualify for Tokyo, I think it's general entrance. Like, I don't think I have to qualify. I think the only thing for general was it's like as long as you think you can finish it in like 6.5 hours or something like that. Anyway, with this amount of training within the next year and a bit, I should be able to finish in 6.5 hours. The marathon, this 24, is in March. It's like March 3rd. I thought it used to be in like January, February, but they might have moved it back a bit. Who knows? Anyway, so 24's marathon is March 3rd. You apply and know by, like, you don't apply until August. By September-ish. So that'll give, like, if one of us or both of us get in, that gives us 6 months worth of training time. And then what else? So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep running the Calgary half marathon until I get accepted to the Tokyo marathon. So that'll keep me training for something and keep me like going. I definitely, after the Dopey Challenge, I need to add in more resistance training and strength training. We got a set of like at-home dumbbells, so I can at least do some stuff here. And then I'll try and get like going a little bit better there. But yeah, I'll be going back to spin a lot more after I'm actually done training for the Dopey Challenge. Maybe. I'm training for a half. There won't be much of a change in the program besides the fact that, like, as much as it will never be easy, running just a marathon after running the Dopey Challenge is probably going to feel like a breeze. It's going to be ridiculous. That's the mindset I'm going to go into this, is it's like everything after this is going to feel easy. The nice thing about Japan is it is also sea level. And it'll be March, so it won't actually, like, March in Japan, when we were there for Dallas's first trip, was cold. It was so cold. It's rainy and miserable. So I don't anticipate that March in Japan is going to be too hot either. But yeah, I think you don't start until like 9:30, so it's not even like an early start. Which I have heard is the hardest thing about the Dopey Challenge, is the fact that like you're up and out every morning at 2:30 for 4 days and running. I'm just like, ugh. Which for us, especially with the time change, like that's like 12:30 our time. But anyway, we got to shift the kids back a little ways while we're still at home before the event, because otherwise we're not going to survive just due to sleep deprivation. But yeah, so that's the plan. But I do want to do the Calgary half marathon next year. I don't think, unless I'm actually going for a race, I don't think I'll ever do a full marathon, just like go out and run it myself. I quite like the 10-kilometer distance right now, although I feel like I could go further. So that's why I'm kind of like, okay, we'll do the half in Calgary every year until I qualify for Tokyo. Because there's really only a couple marathons I really want to run. Tokyo is one of them. Disney was one of them. So Dopey Challenge fulfills that. And then maybe the Osaka Marathon. Maybe. We'll see. I don't know yet. But I think after that, it'll mostly be 10 and half marathons. Plus, it's really hard to find marathons anyway. So it's just kind of like, okay, stick to the halves. There's lots of half marathons, even in this area. If they fall on a weekend, that works as well. So that's the issue. I guess not the fact that there's not a lot of marathons, just the dates. All right, still babbling on here while we cut box corners for big bags. Getting some of the fabrics finished up from stuff I didn't finish for Caroline's pop-up. There is a cat in this bin. It's right here. Quality control inspecting the bags. All right, and we've got one. Oh my goodness. Looks like 11 left. So we're well over half at least. Okay. Yeah, because we started at like, what, 24, I said, or something like that. Still finding pins and zippers, apparently. Okay. Yeah, I think tonight we'll get this done. And then we'll go in and we will cut. I don't know, we'll cut something. I think we should cut something tonight. Fabric. Cut fabric tonight of some sort. For something. I think we should do wallets. I really want to try that wristlet, but like I said, I can't videotape it, so I can't do that on a stream. I haven't even bought the pattern yet. I'm like, But I think I should. Maybe we should do some like pencil pouches or something like that. I do need to just write out a schedule and figure out exactly what I need to do before Knit City. And then like what I need to do before these other generalized shows. So the wallets are brought up because I want to get some wallets done for Omatsuri. Obi wallets would make sense. And I think I'm going to line them in kimono fabric. Excuse me, which will look absolutely spectacular. I also need to actually go get some more sew-in stabilizer. Maybe that's something the youngest and I will go do tomorrow. Just run into the city and grab some supplies. I don't know yet. Actually, tomorrow would be a good day to do the photography for this stuff because the youngest should be able to occupy themselves outside while I take photos, at least for a little bit. And then we can, yeah, that would work. Now, sometimes I do actually just line up the interior and exterior lines and like the seam lines and just clip it once, but I find that that does lead to more mistakes. Obviously, this is slower, cutting all four corners out one at a time, but it does lead itself to some more, or lend itself to a little bit more accuracy sometimes. Not always. I just said that because it's like I just wobbled on that one so hard. It wasn't even funny. Oh. Yeah, there we go. Oh. All right, do you need your edge trimmed down? Far over did I sew? Holy. Yep, trim that down. Okay. Trim it down, and then we will go through and actually cut the box edges. So obviously not all of these need to be trimmed down. This one, though, is an exceptionally wide seam allowance. That's in part because I was sewing around the selvage. Bye, selvage. And the interior could use a trim down. That's so that it's not too floppy on the inside. The trimming down of the interior, not the trimming down of the exterior. This also just has a lot of extra interfacing at the bottom. And that would just make the bag feel meh. And we'll do it up this side as well. Ta-da! Well, we got quite a little pile of stuff down there. I'm actually going to be using the corners for the offcuts from these bags in bookmarks because they'll be a little bit smaller than what I originally had, but they are adorable. So adorable. And it works because then I don't have to cut bookmarks out. And I can use different scraps. You know, all those things that are good. Plus the bookmarks are adorable. I will be getting them posted on the website. They're not going to be very expensive. They will also only ship letter mail unless you're purchasing other goods. Like that'll be the only option. I'm pretty sure I'll just offer free shipping on them because they'll be cheap to ship. As long as you're not ordering like 20 of them or something, I guess. If you order 20 of them, please order a project bag, and then I can just put them all in the same package. But they would make really good stocking stuffers or like stocking stuffers or the other words and things. Gifts for like your knitting group, stuff like that. Okay. All right, I don't know how much sewing is actually going to be done on this stream because, I'm getting to the end of my energy. And, I've still got an hour, so I'll still work till 4, whatever that ends up being. We are currently at, it looks about 9 bags left. They're all on a chair over here. I actually moved the rolly chair over here because I was like, I'm going to put the laptop on there and you'll be able to see me. But no, you're sitting on my actual like sewing table right now. As you could see from the earlier video if you were here, or you're watching this back. Because the tall stool that I've usually used for the laptop is actually holding the serger right now because it's a good height. And I didn't want to take the energy or time to clear off the desk last night. I should have, but that's okay. I'll do that today. And honestly, it's not going to be that hard. Part of it is just stock because it's made glasses cases that I have to take photos of. And part of it's just, it's actually a bin that just needs to be put back down on the floor. I don't even know why it's on the desk right now, to be honest. Well, and so the plastic bin that I'm putting all these in makes sense, but it's like one of the IKEA Calyx boxes. So I don't know why it's on the desk even. I know it was on the floor because it's down here storing stuff, but... And honestly, I don't think it even needs to go on the floor. I think it just needs to go in the storage room. Just about there. Just about there. How many people are actually on Threads? I've been watching like a little bit of an explosion of people getting on Threads. I probably should get on mostly just to claim my username, but I'm like, I have so many social media platforms that I don't post to already that it just feels overwhelming. I do like the fact that it feels like you could have a bit more of a conversation there than you can on a lot of the other platforms. But I don't know. Maybe eventually. It's not like Meta doesn't already have my information, so it would be easy. All right, pins are out of the zippers. There's still a pin in the body of the bag. Because why not? Should have brought 2 cups of coffee down, but they would have been, well, the first one was already chilled. So they would have been very cold by now. He is very pleased with himself in that box bin thing. All right, zipper clip. Zipper clip. If you're in Calgary, are you going to be coming down to the Omatsuri Festival? I'd love to hear. Please make sure to come visit me. I just pulled the thread out of my needle. That's annoying. I keep getting messages. Stay home. Okay, that's acceptable. There we go. Felt really bad asking our home provider to like cut his nap short because I'm like, I know that's one of the only times that she gets to sit down and like take a breather. But she's got older kids too, so I don't think that they ever nap as well. But I don't know, maybe I'll make her day easier in some ways too. Both easier and more difficult. It's one of those transition phases where it's like, oh man, how will you ever do it without your nap? And at the same time, it's like, oh my goodness, you'll go to bed so much earlier. That's what I'm looking forward to. Not even so much earlier, but just not 10:30. Again, that's probably likely because they napped from like 5:30 to 6:30 last night. I knew it would cause trouble too. I should have gotten them up earlier. Oh well. Tonight, I will not let that happen. Oh, we had, so I went to Costco yesterday, and I got their chicken gyoza dumplings. I think they're called gyoza dumplings. They're gyoza, and they were actually so good. I pan fried them last night for dinner, and had that, and then I had I'm gonna butcher this. I think it's muchim, and then it's something with an O. I can't remember. I kept calling it cucumber banchan, which is not correct, but it's a Korean cucumber salad, and it was really good. I subbed in mirin for the honey because I didn't have honey available, and so I think it would be a little bit tastier with the honey, but it still came together really nice. Super simple salad. So I got my veggies. The kids got the like chicken and I think it's chicken and ginger gyoza. I got chicken and ginger gyoza. They were very tasty. I was very pleased. And then it took forever to get them to bed. Partly why I let them sleep so long is that I was actually cooking dinner when we got home. And that sometimes it just doesn't go well most of the time. I actually got to figure out what I'm going to do for dinner tonight. Probably should do that before I go for a nap. Actually, I think it might just be chili and something. Chili and cheese toast or chili and toast or something like that. That would be tasty. And not bad fuel run fuel either. So there we go. Almost there. We're almost there. I like when it starts getting close to the end like this because you can see the end, and then it's like, once I've done these, I'm done the big bags for Knit City. And a bunch of, okay. If I don't have to restock before then. So. Oh yeah, I've got a couple Obi purses to finish as well, actually. I've been cut out for since I was like, I'm going to sew Obi bags, and then cheaped out. That's part of what happened. Skill level 2. My skills have improved quite a bit since I started trying to make bags or purses. And so this is like finishing off some of those bags that I first made, or cut at least. But I'm redoing some of the work because it's like, it'll just look better. I did finally get some command strips and just hang the surge cord up behind the laptop, on the wall behind you guys or the laptop. That's what the cord was just from, is something fell over from the surge bar. But it's cleared up the sewing desk so well. It's just like I should have just gone and got more command strips earlier. Because I originally had it on command strips and then it tore itself off the wall. So that's what happened. But now the surge bar has 4 command strips on it. There's no reason that it shouldn't stay. There's probably multiple reasons why it won't stay, but None that I can perceive at this point. So this is cats that are back in town on Teal, just inside out right now. I will go through and I will fully open the zippers before I finish sewing these two. I don't know why I haven't been doing that as I've been cutting everything, but it's just escaped my mind, and I'm not going to change my flow right now to do it either. All right, one, yeah, and then there's should only be 5 more. Sweet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 6 left, and then we'll go to the sewing. Now, the nice thing about the boxing on these is it's just all straight seams. No real finagling beyond getting the like little label in the one of the bottom inside corners. There we go. So not bad. I give myself, well, it's been the hour and a half, obviously, so far. And we've sewn 3 bags finished, except for the boxing edges, and we've almost boxed 24 bags. So that's pretty good. Or cut the boxes for 24 bags. So we'll see how far we get in the sewing. And that'll determine how much I get done tonight on and off camera. If the kids want to watch TV tonight after the run, we might come downstairs and I might do some sewing then. Or we might go upstairs and cuddle on the couch, because that would be a better connection time and mean that they probably will sleep better. So, one of the two. We'll see. Probably the latter. Probably cuddling on the couch with some TV after a run outside. So we'll get a little bit more outside time. We took the top totally off the Jeep the other day, and it's so awesome. I think Dallas wants to take the doors off too, but I was like, let's leave the doors on. Experiment with just the top off again, and then we'll take the doors off. I don't know, maybe next week when we're hanging out at home a bit better. The other nice benefit to so I'm jumping all over the place right now, but I was just thinking about the serger and how I like having transportable work to do around, so I can serge a bunch of stuff like in the evening one night, and then I can actually chill with the kids. Maybe that's what I'll do for Saturday. I'll cut and serge a bunch of stuff on Friday night and get it ready to get elastic installed. Then Saturday the kids can run around outside and I can take the work outside and work with them. I like doing that sort of thing. Makes the work environment a little bit more less monotonous. There we go. More interesting. And the kids get outside time. I get outside time. It's like a win-win-win all around. So. Excuse me. So yes, I do actually have poster board cut for this. So I don't I just plunk the poster board and trace it. But for the life of me, I do not know where it is. I think it might actually be buried under clips behind me right now. So when I find it, I'm gonna put it in my drawer. I still want to get some shelves for this corner so that I can put the pin box up and the thread and everything that I'm using up there instead of having it in the drawer. But for now, just having the serge bar out of the way is super helpful. Actually, probably what would have helped is to go for the run this morning, because A, it would have woken me up and it would have helped keep my diabetic sugars a little bit better in check as well. Oh well, it's okay. I wonder how far I can get in 3 miles. Although that's only 2.5 out and 2.5 back. Because I was I wonder if I could get us all the way to Dairy Queen for ice cream for the kids at least. We'll see. We are going to go dry next week until Knit City. I flat out told Dallas I'm not skipping drinks at Knit City. We're going to have a little bit of vacation out on the island after that, which will be good. but I'm not turning down drinks doing that. So we're going to do dry for about 9 weeks, which will be good, I think. Just overall health. I don't think we have a drinking problem, but like it'll help to kick some fat out. It'll be really easy. It's a lot easier to cut calories when you're not drinking them. It's part of it. And like, because I like not just like, I like beer, just given all the alcohols is fairly high calorie. I also really like cocktails. It's one of the few, I know I'm diabetic, but it's one of the few ways I can actually have like a juice, because basically, and this is how it's always been explained to me at least, and I have noticed it with my own sugars so far, is that the like alcohol in the drink basically counteracts the carbs in it. So it's how that's the only way I really drink anything really sweet is cocktails. I don't know how it works around the sugars, but I have never noticed it actually peak my sugars any more than normal. So okay, that was a selvage cut. I'll go in and do the box edges. This is Sassy Cat Amongst Roses on that like really very interesting blue. And I really don't have any more stories to tell right now. It would help if my brain weren't so tired. But I also like haven't I wound jarring right before we went to Japan. And asked my husband to actually hold it so that I could like wind it on the cake winder, blah, blah, blah. He gave me the look, because I do have a Swift. And I was just like, I don't know where my Swift is right now. And he kind of gave me a look of like, how do you not know where that is? And I'm like, I haven't knit really for a full year. So that's how I don't know where my Swift is. I did knit around Christmas because I was working on some colorwork stockings, which I need to finish. But like realistically, other than that, I haven't knit. I didn't even knit on the way to Dawson, because sometimes it's just nice to sit down and not use your hands for anything. And I think that's where I'm at right now. It's like when I'm working, I'm sewing. When I'm running around with the kids, I'm using my hands. Cooking, laundry, changing bums, you know, all the kid tasks. And heck, even in my downtime, it's like all I have a mental capacity for right now is mobile games. So I think that's part of it as well. Mental capacity for knitting. Granted, like going around and around and around in a circle for stockinette doesn't take a lot of mental capacity, but I need to do a refitting on my socks. So that's what's taking the mental capacity, and why I haven't knit a lot of socks this year either. Is with my feet changing shape, I need to actually refit my socks. Part of that foot change is the excuse me, is the broken ankle as well, because it's a little bit thicker through there now. And so I just need to adjust shape and size for that a bit more. This is the like music room kitty cats. It's a really quirky one. Really cool purpley background color and some like bubblegum pink highlights. I can't remember the... Yeah, I pulled out the pink with the zipper and the webbing as well. So this one's going to be spectacular when it gets turned. All right, I know I said I was going to stream till 4, but we're going to hit 3:30, I think. I'm going to finish up the rest of this boxing and cutting, and I need to go have a nap. Like I said, I was just up way too late last night, and then up early because camp and childcare start fairly early too. So just trying to get kiddos where they need to go before I start my day. Where and fed. Actually, it's really nice. My youngest is in a day home and they feed him. And it'll be something I miss when he moves out of there. But he'll enjoy his new space as well. I will miss not packing lunches, though. Or I will miss not packing lunches. Although I did track down. So for my eldest, I got them a Planet box from Costco in January. So I had to order it, of course. But I saw them in Costco when I was there yesterday. So I picked one up for the youngest so that we have it ready to go when we need it. Again, a lot stronger in carrying stuff too. So I think we can transfer them over to a backpack in the next month or so. Be super cute. All right, I think this was 4 out of, so 2 or 3 left. 1, hey, 2 left. And then you don't have to listen to me just nonsensically stream of consciousness chatter on. Or at least not until tonight when we're doing whatever we're going to do. Who knows? I don't know what we're doing tonight. We shall see. I think we're cutting wallets. And then we have to decide what kimono we want to put in the wallets, since the obi are gorgeous. They don't work for all the obi, but they work for enough that I think it'll be worth it to do it. Although actually even a kimono wallet would look gorgeous. So there might be a couple of those. I do know I want to cut some May glasses cases. I know I said I was done that, but I was like, wait, no, I do want the obi May glasses cases as well. So we'll do a few more of those over the next few weeks. Omatsuri is April 12th, so I've got like 2 weeks. 2 weeks Saturday? Yeah, it's 2 weeks Saturday. So I got a little bit of time. Not a lot of time, but a little bit. I just realized what I should do. I want to do some larger tote bags like this, but I think what I'll do is I'll do like with the obi. But the obi aren't wide enough to do the width of tote bag here, so I think I might just figure out what I'm going to do, which will involve like piecing it with canvas, but it would look really pretty. Kind of frame it. Maybe. Who knows? That's a problem for another day, probably. Not today. Not a problem. A puzzle. One, 2. Then we got 3 and 4 on this side. Oh yeah, the one experiment we did do is that we drove straight to Dawson. With like stops along the way, but like we didn't stop overnight anywhere. So it was kind of an experiment to see if we could go all the way to Vancouver in one fell swoop for Knit City, and I think we can. Because there's not a lot of room for error there if we can't. But, okay, cat. Okay. Still alive. That's good. He's still in there. Just, oh, I don't know. Oh yeah, there you go. You can see him. I'll make sure he's out of there before I go upstairs, or at least on top instead of buried under the bags. But yeah, it was good to see that like the kids can do. That was about an 8-hour drive from here to Dawson. So they'll be able to do a that long a drive, I think, out to Vancouver. Vancouver is about an extra 2 hours. Lots of stops. It will still be a really long day. But I don't think it'll be any longer than like the drive we did from Kamloops back when I had the broken ankle. So. Okay. Zip. 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 Last 4 boxing of the corners, and then I am going to head out. So I hope you guys all enjoyed the live stream. Sorry for like just the complete stream of consciousness dumping, I guess. I'll be back on tonight. I don't know if I'm going to just I might just do ASMR kind of. I think I'll be cutting necessary clutch wallets. So no, I think I'll still chat, but it won't be like as much. Maybe not. Who knows? Anyway, if you did like this, please make sure to like the video. And if you'd like to see more content, subscribe. And if you have a friend you think that would enjoy this as well, please hit that share link button. That is actually one of the most powerful buttons across all the social media platforms right now. Because if you're sharing it with a friend, you enjoy it enough to send it to someone else. So I really appreciate it. I hope you guys all have a fantastic afternoon or whenever you're watching this. And I will see you all again very soon. Bye.